having been at Mayflower Bookshop for so long and studying every spiritual piece of literature and all the spiritual teachers and the history of spirituality, because we don't have forever, and I think that to a certain extent, Mayflower Bookshop and my own self, that I'm here to quicken what nature takes too long to do. So if you have forever to get enlightened and find happiness and joy and freedom from ignorance or suffering or whatever, if you have forever, great. But if you want to quicken it, I think I've learned over my experience over many years is that there are certain schools of spiritual science that work faster, and that would be Theosophy, which became very popular with H.P.Blavatsky in the late 1800s. And Theosophy means the wisdom of God. And Blavatsky goes through great troubles to explain the history of spirituality in a book called Isis Unveiled, the history of science, theology, religion, and art, and consciousness, the history of consciousness, in The Secret Doctrine in Isis Unveiled. And she claims that the human being has 7 levels, that there's a physical, emotional, mental, there's a higher intuitive, manas, there's a Buddhic higher love, universal love, compassion body, and that there's Atma, like a word from ancient India, that each of us has a spark of the universe in us. And Rudolf Steiner came out of that, and he has anthroposophy, which is the wisdom of man, anthrosophia, wisdom, sophia, anthro, man, manas, wisdom thinker. And in a way, manas means thinker. Man means thinker. Woman means, the feminine thinker. And then and Rudolf Steiner has biodynamic gardening, Waldorf schools, new forms of medicine in hospitals, art theory, Goethe's art, color theory, botanical theories. Rudolf Steiner puts old people that have nobody with young people that have nobody together, living together, so they're both happy and healed and more whole. Rudolf Steiner has gifts that he gives that keep giving to the community. So Blavatsky's Theosophy, Einstein studied it, King studied it, Gandhi studied it, I studied it, and Steiner comes out of that, and so does Alice Bailey and Manly Haw, and hundreds of major thinkers come out of Blavatsky's giant mothership of Theosophy. Then there's also, besides Rudolf Steiner, there's Osho. And Osho's a phenomena unto himself. He's like a great Mahasiddhi, a great psychic spiritual being. Osho has a really fast, immediate, pop-up toaster spirituality where he helps you to watch who's watching and rid yourself of superfluous things that you have in your life that really aren't your true mission or your true work or your true self. So Osho's another one. He's got a wonderful book called The Book of Secrets. There's a wonderful book out called Living Dangerously, and Zen, the Art of the Zen Manifesto, Freedom from Oneself. That's a great book. I also like Macrobiotics with Misha Kushi and George Isawa, Self-Healing Cookbook with Kristen Turner, as a way of eating that can support higher consciousness. Rudolf Steiner invented biodynamic gardening and companion planting and invented composting as a science because he thought that we needed good food to create the blood that the boat of intellect sits on, that consciousness needs a proper form, that human beings are both a proper form of nourishment from the earth and the cosmos. So there's cosmic nourishment. You might say that the books that we sell at Mayflower Bookshop are more cosmic nourishment. They can nourish your soul and your higher being, help nourish and awaken that.